Introduction to percents, and here is our mini lesson. Now, Leona and Paris were looking at the model of Mrs. Henry's class. This is the model. Leona says that the model represents 12% because 12 squares were shaded. Are you sure? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because of that 12 shades, she said that's 12%. But Paris says that that isn't true. How could Paris explain her reasoning to Leona? Okay, do you agree that this is 12%? What do you say? Yes, that is totally wrong. It would only be 12% if there were 100 squares because percent means out of 100. Since there are 12 out of 15, you need to create a proportion or divide and convert to a percent. So this is not 12%. Why? Because percent is a part of a whole ratio where the whole is always 100. Percents can be written as a fraction out of 100 or as a decimal. Okay, so let's look at the details. So if I have 78% always have a denominator of 100. That percent means over 100. So now this is already a fraction. And how do you read that? Since the bottom is 100, you could read it as 78 hundredths. Okay, now this fraction, I could change it as a percent. How do I do that? To the 3, the number on top goes under. See that? The 3. And the number below goes outside. Don't make it as 5 divided by 3. It should be 3 in the calculator, 3 first divided by 5. And you will get 0.60. That's already 60 hundredths. If it's already in the hundreds, simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right, that's 60, and affix your percent sign, 60%. Now, write the fraction, decimal, and percent. So this is a 10 by 10. So you know the total will be 100, right? So let's count how many are the shaded part. So this is 10, another set of 10, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's write it as 25 over 100, but I can simplify that as 1/4. Now, I need it to be a decimal. How can it be a decimal? Guess what? It's already in hundredths place, so how do you write that? 0.25. Now, to make it percent, 2 places to the right, 1, 2, that is now 25%. Okay, the next one, try it, and then I'll show you the answers. Pause. Okay, here are the answers. 65 over 100 or 13 over 20. 0.65. Whatever is on top of 100 will be the decimal point, then 65. Percent. So, 2 places to the right, 65%. Anything over 100, the one on top is your percent. The next one, 15 over 100 or 3 over 20, divide by 5, divide by 5. Okay, so use this as your decimal, 0.15, and that is over what? Over 100, so that's percent, 15%. Okay, remember, percent problems can be solved using proportions or equations, method 1 or method 2. We will show both of that. So first, you set up a proportion using the formula below and then plug in the numbers. This you need to memorize. Put a box on this. I even put it this way, like that. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. Memorize that. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. Okay. The second way is to set up an percent equation. The percent equation always looks like this. to get the part, to get a part, multiply the percent, but you have to write it as a decimal or fraction by the whole number. Okay? Multiply these two, the whole and the percentage, you will get the part. Okay, now let's try to solve this. Okay, so now you would see that one is a part out of the whole thing. The whole bar is made up of 5 parts. And then I want to know how big is the shaded part in terms of percent. That is the missing percent. And I know if it's the whole thing, it's going to be 100%. I know this, I know this, I know that. I put them all in a proportion. This is the chart that you would always use. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. So let's look at our chart. The percent, I don't know. See that? I don't know this. That's my X. Over 100, it's always over 100. The part that I know is the shaded part. That is 1. 1 goes on top. And the whole is 5. See that? Where did I get those numbers? From our chart above. I just followed and plugged in the numbers. Now, to solve for a missing value, there are different ways to do this. Okay, you could do cross multiply. That's 5x, 5 times x, and then 100 times 1 is 100. Divide by 5 on both sides. That cancels out. And x is equal to 20%. See, I use a proportion. The next thing you could do is the equation. Part is equal to percent times the whole. Okay, so I don't know the part. So the part is missing, and the whole is 5. And then I know that the part is 1 rather, and the missing value is the percent sign. What do I multiply to 5 to get 1? So what do I do? 5x equals 1. To solve for x, divide by 5, divide by 5. That becomes x is equal to 0.20, but I always change that to percent. How do I do that? 2 places to the right. That becomes 20%. So you could use either this formula or that formula. Now it's your turn to do the practice and homework in your packet. Good luck, Rampagers.